Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Thank you for joining us today on Morning Spring here at Western Spring Television, channel 190 on StarTimes TTT, and also on other social media platforms. What we do here is that we look into conversations, that has to do with the betterment of this great nation called Nigeria, speaking with and to opinion molders, policymakers as well. All is geared towards having those deep and frank conversations that will influence your decision-making process, for you to be a better person and for we to be a better people. Great nation, Nigeria. Thank you. Once again, I'm Femi Ojo, and Evelyn is here as well.
Good morning,
Good
Femi.
morning. Yeah.
Welcome to another beautiful day.
Thank you.
Such a great feeling to always see, a brand new morning. We are grateful to God for life. Welcome on board. It's the midweek installment of Morning Spring, right here on Western Spring Television. My name is Evelyn Ohiola, and we are super delighted to have you on board with us.
Very well. And of course, talking about having you on board, without you, there is nothing that we do here. We just, we will have just been two individuals that like talking to themselves, and we are not doing that. And of course, as we said, you can be a part of this program by joining us on our social media platforms, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. There is a lot to really talk about. But we'd like to dive straight to the papers, to see what the papers are for us today. And I dare say the papers are in. And of course, here we go. My first point of call this morning will be The Guardian newspaper. Conscience nurtured by truth. And it has boldly written, inflation. Weak fiscal support pushes CBN to further rate hikes, credit squeeze. Okay, it's not steeze now, it's squeeze. Weak fiscal support pushes CBN to further rate hikes and credit squeeze. And of course, you could see the pictorial representation there of businesses and the woman backing a baby, and the CBN, on a flight with inflation at 34.19% and interest rate at 26.75%. Audit and the image representing CBN is on a free fall. And it appears the inflation hedges are weak. CBN needs help. All right. Away from that, NAS okays 70,000 naira. Minimum wage adjust 2024 budget by 6.2 trillion naira. All right. Expedited action on that particular matter yesterday at both, chambers of the National Assembly. House of Reps orders NERC discos to reverse Band A tariff hike. Does this really show that we are serious? Really, this back and forth. Which of the hikes, Evelyn? Because one must ask, is it his latest hike? Because just like 2 weeks ago, about there was this increase of 250 kobo. So is it that one or the previous hike? All right. And additional backs Dangote as Kiari denies owning overseas refinery. It is a lot, really. The way they said that the more you look, the less you see. But instead of us seeing, we have been hearing, and this is part of what we are seeing. There was this post put up by Femi Otedola yesterday. We regarded him as a bestie with Dangote. And then it was words attributed to Femi Adesina in which he was so categorical about the optics of the dynamics playing out between Dangote Refinery, Aliko Dangote himself, and the guys at the NNPCL and the Petroleum Ministry, saying it's not just about him, it's about the outlook you can't be looking for foreign direct investment and you are fighting your own local manufacturer, local industry, local businesses, and you are looking for FDIs. The president has been junketing everywhere, telling whoever cares to listen, marketing the nation to say, come in, your funds are safe, and when you want to leave, you can easily pull it off. But the biggest industrialist, as far as that company is concerned, that's the biggest investment right now, is having it tough. And, that's what Additional talked about in that post. Senate passes Police Act bill, extends IGP's tenure till 2027. Many persons are asking, tongues are wagging. Okay, do they have that power? Is it necessary? Must it be called the But then, is it within the capacity of the National Assembly or the President to seek extension of the current IGP? And Senate passes Police Act bill because that means there was need, I think, for a review, and that has been tinkered with. To what extent, by the way, and to what motive? Nigeria working to overtake world economics. Say Shetima. What was that supposed to mean, Evelyn?
What?
You just shrugged.
I mean,
was it coincidental, or you are saying something?
Maybe,
what exactly are you saying?
Maybe I'm saying something.
Nigeria working to overtake world economics, says Shetima.
I think the word should be catch up with world economies. You first catch up before you overtake. So I think the vice president is really, really dreaming big, and it's not a crime for you to dream big. But where we are right now in the country, I should say catching up with world economies, because you just mentioned about Dangote now and how even the federal government agency that is supposed to be the #1 marketer of Dangote refinery is pulling Dangote down with such statements as saying that a refinery is producing substandard products.
It's not even licensed.
Additional, the AFDP president is one person I love to call the #1 marketer of Nigeria. He is so,
and even Africa.
He's so he's invested in promoting and marketing Nigeria and Africa to the people of the world. You mentioned that the president is moving from one country to another, trying to find foreign direct investment. So how do you expect a foreigner to come into your country to invest billions of dollars when your own citizen that has invested billions of dollars is having it rough at this time? So I don't know how we hope to overtake world economies with the doings that we are seeing right now. Maybe catch up should be the word.
I think maybe the vice president is being, I don't know.
But there's no crime in dreaming big.
Yeah, dreaming big, right? But then he must be consistent with reality, our reality, because you can dream big, you can see all these things, but our country people, business inclined persons will know that, I don't want to say what I should have said in pidgin, by the way. I start with a D, and don't let me say that. Now, Nigeria, that's it. Atiku backs planned protest as Tinubu begs Nigerians. How so? How many persons have been calling out to the president to speak to Nigerians as well? Speak with the young people, identify them, be open, because sometimes, right, some of these handlers do too much, really, to prove to their paymasters and their paymaster rather that they are working. You are just bullish, being verbose, being, because you're in government and the rest of it. One of them yesterday, Olusegun, his matter was tabled on the social space yesterday, where he said there was no place that he has ever said nobody should protest. All he's saying is nobody should destroy government assets, and that, people are ready to defend the government and the rest of it. And people brought about tweets, that this guy has been tweeting since 2011, 2012, that has been violent in nature, that he has been more like, if it's not this, it's that. If you won't give way for peace, then violence is inevitable, and they brought it for him, including Bayo Onanuga as well. These are some of the things you people have done before. Now you're in government. As they say, when you are eating, you shouldn't be talking. But now, what you did, you are telling the people they shouldn't do that, and you are trying to blackmail protesters into saying, you guys say you will destroy government facilities and attack. And those ones are saying, where did you see attack? Because you are trying to put it on what happened at the NSAS because of the carnage that ended the whole show. It's a lot. But when many people are telling the president, this is the time for you to seek audience. Because that was how it happened with NSAS. And people called on Buhari, you remember, call these people, identify them, be open, don't play politics. And don't make it to look like the moment you invite them, because some of them don't trust you, you just arrest them. Be open, speak to them, come down, attend, tour the states. Don't just stay in Abuja and allow this your, let me just keep quiet. This morning, allow your guys to do the bidding. They will do damage. That was exactly what happened preceding the October 2020. And you know what happened with all of that? That will be all from the front page of The Guardian for today.
And from The Guardian, we head on to Daily Trust newspaper this time. Boldly written on Daily Trust, a shelf protest, Tinubu begs Nigerians. Violent protest, ill-advised, says IGP. And citizens have constitutional right to complain, says Atiku. The president trying all that he can to ensure that the proposed protest does not hold. But then the IGP saying violent protest ill-advised, that's the time for you to actually put your men on the streets so that they can guide against this. Away from that, again, CBN raises interest rate by 50 basis points to 26.75%. I said it yesterday that it seems like the only language Olayemi Cardoso understands is that Nigerian slang. Reza, reza, reza. The guy is just, increasing what he has to increase.
Yeah.
Well, he may have his reasons, but then experts are saying that he is not doing what he's supposed to do. And this is like a slap on Olayemi Cardoso, because a lot of people believed in his expertise when he was appointed as the Central Bank of Nigeria's governor. A man sentenced to life in prison for raping 8-year-old deaf girl. How cruel can you be, having kind of knowledge of an 8-year-old deaf person? I mean, it's a lot.
That's wickedness.
It's a lot. That's evil. And
Evil,
it's happy to know that he's paying for his crime. Ripples over proposed inclusion of foreigners in Nigeria's NIN registration. Ripples over proposed inclusion of foreigners in Nigeria's NIN registration. Gabon president invites Dangote to invest in cement, fertilizer production. Our silence says a lot.
Say no more. Continue.
Egbetokun may enjoy tenure extension as National Assembly amends Police Act. Reps demand NMDPRA CEO suspension over Dangote refinery comment. Senator Barrow hails Tinubu for signing Northwest Development Commission bill into law. Now we have the NDDC.
Yeah.
Now we have the NWDC. We'll soon have probably the Southeast Development Commission.
We have the NEDC already.
NEDC, right?
That is the Northeast Development Commission.
We have the, over here in Southwest, we have the Dawn Commission.
Yeah, but it's not a government
private.
thing.
That's private.
Yeah. So the only thing remaining now is the Southwest Commission and the Southeast Commission. Okay. Maybe gradually we are moving to regionalism. Who knows?
Are we? Or it's just a way to shut up some aggrieved members
We'll
of
have
the
that
different
conversation
regions.
someday.
All right, that will be all from Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right, and sometimes you just have to take it easy, really, especially when you're having this kind of commission. NDDC, what have they done so far with all the money this year? NDDC came with a bill of almost 2 trillion naira, and to be hugely financed by borrowing, by the way, by loans. But one thing that we don't do in Nigeria very well is budget performance. Because when you are coming with a budget for a subsequent year,
what was your performance
what did
the
you
previous
do?
year? Yeah.
What was the budget performance?
Yes.
What is the work that you do? I mean, what is the work that you did? Show us how much was released in your previous budget. What is the balance that you have right now?
Yes.
But it seems everybody just go with their PS and everybody and director of finance and then go to the house and then you ask a few questions except you're having issues with one senator or one rep, and then, okay, we'll see you later. How so? 2 trillion naira that the nation doesn't have, that is taking Mr. Olayemi Cardoso increase upon increase. These are some of the issues that we are seeing at this time as well. Let me move to the Daily Trust, right?
Just took the Daily Trust.
Yeah, the nation rather. Tinubu to protest planners. I'll take that again. Tinubu to protest planners. Shelve idea. Await our response. This is supposed to be a serious program, and it is really. But some of the things we are hearing, you'll be like, you just want to giggle. Because when you hear, maybe it's the way the newspapers put it, by the way, to say, shelve idea. Await our response. Like a father talking to a toddler. Wait there. And they come. All right. And Ryder says, no room for violent protest, says IG. Right. Cross River yet to recover from NSAS. Okay. Wike plan is politically motivated. Okay. One would have said, would you have expect anything better from that end, by the way? But then, Lanesik, Femi Falana spoke on this yesterday and said, and many persons, it's even elementary, that protest is allowed. So far, it's peaceful. The protest planners are saying it is a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Now, the people on the side of the government are saying violent protest is not allowed. The people planning protests are saying it is not violent. It's like you are trying to shove something down their throat to blackmail them. And, Femi Falana SAN said to the police, that's why these people have given enough time, weeks, so that what you are supposed to do is identify the planners, have a meeting with them. Where are you converging? Protect that violent nature of the protest that people, are afraid of. That is the function of the police. They didn't just say they'll be going out tomorrow. The police are aware. So identify the planners. What are you doing? Which of the states are you doing this, so that we can protect? The police has a function, constitutional function, to protect protesters.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be the one, and it's a lot. EFCC will come and say you should not protest. DSS will come and say the security situation is bad.
NDLEA.
And I don't know yet. State governors will say, the situation in my space, at least Baba Gana Zulum said that, Borno State is not yet clear, you should not protest. IG will say you should not do that. The handlers of the government will say you should not do that. And there are history that these people did that exactly what they did.
If there was someone
previous government of the day, you even called Goodluck Jonathan, some of them goats.
See,
if
there is someone that shouldn't be against the protest, it should be President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because is touted as the hero of Nadeco. We all know what Nadeco was all about.
He even called himself the biggest Democrat. And you are against
a peaceful protest.
Nadeco was a pressure group.
Exactly. You're against a peaceful protest in a democracy. You are saying, okay, you do not want it to turn violent. What you should be looking out for is taking out steps so it doesn't turn violent.
Yes.
If
that's why we have the police.
Wants to protest, it means they are aggrieved. You cannot beat a child and ask her or him not to cry.
Exactly what I was saying. The father will say, keep quiet, I'm coming.
It's just contradictory that we are having a President Bola Ahmed Tinubu who has been touted over the years as a big Democrat, as one of the heroes of Nadeco. And the people want to go out to the street to tell you their grievances, to let you know that they are not happy with the situation of things. And you feel you are threatened by the protests. I mean, it's so
I think people in government should learn to drop the ego.
Contradictory.
I said about what happened, I could still remember vividly that the president then, in 2020, was President Muhammadu Buhari. He was called by different persons to say, call these people. And that one was even categorical. It was about the oppression.
Police brutality.
Police brutality, thank you, by a division. That's the NSAS, to say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Speak to them. Let them know that you are the father. Let them know. But now, all we are hearing, shelve it and wait for our response. Interesting. Again, see CBN, all right, CBN raises interest rate by 50 basis point to 26.75%, all right. Okay, away from that, I'm still on the Nation newspaper. Minimum wage bill awaits Tinubu's assent, right? Okay, that's a good one to see that it's been expedited. And top strip, MPA rakes in 541 billion naira revenue, remits 255 billion naira in first half of 2024. Says outgoing MD. Let me tell that again. MPA rakes in 541 billion naira revenue, remits 255 billion naira in first half of 2024. What happens to the balance, by the way? Okay, but then Coco hands over new staff clinic, 5 other completed projects to successor. Okay, maybe that explains the deficit in the remittance part of it. But that will, okay, bottom strip, DSP Barrow hails president for signing Northwest Development Commission bill. You know, we said this earlier, Evelyn. Yeah, this is one that everybody is having a development commission. So what exactly is the function of the states? Really, if because your region now, the Northwest has one, NDDC has one for the South-South, Northeast has one, and I think the North Central have their own in the pipeline as well. So what are the functions of all these development commissions? And then number two, very importantly, who funds them? In the words of, Femi, what's the other name of the Femi? Femi.
There are a lot of Femi Ojo, Femi
No, no.
Adebila, Femi. What? Adeshina?
I don't. No. The former minister.
Fani
Kayode.
Kayode,
Yeah. Who is bankrolling them?
Okay.
That's it. Who will bankroll all this development commission? Is it still from this nation?
I think the question is, how developed is the Niger Delta after this commission
With the NDDC of
has been
years,
created? I mean, you can look, it's reality. You can look at the Niger Delta and say, okay, as a result of this commission, we have had this development in Niger Delta and all of that. Over the years, the Niger Delta indigents are still complaining, they're still talking, nothing has been done. So why do you keep funding this development commission without nothing to show for it? That's the big question. How developed, is the region, or are the regions these development commissions, are used for? Let's move on to Punch newspaper this time. Punch newspaper, nationwide protest. SGF ministers hold emergency meeting today. Tinubu urges routes to shelve August 1 rally. Atiku LP caution against protesters' arrest. Egbetokun warns anti-government protesters, says Nigeria hasn't recovered from NSAS. And military hands over rescued Chibok girls, 330 others to Borno government. Military hands over rescued Chibok girl, 330 others to Borno government. It's so good that we are hearing that these girls have been, have been released, and they are handed over to the government of your state. But then the big question is, after this, what next? Are we looking at taking care of these girls, giving them what they need, education, if they need to go into trading, providing what they need for them, before we'll start hearing that they have been given out in marriage to, and the government is funding
mass wedding.
Mass wedding, you knew what happened the other day in the northern state. So
I think it's the Niger state.
It's not enough.
And when people came for the speaker, he said, I'm trying to help you people. I'm not doing it again. You people
empowerment. That's considered empowerment.
Yeah. Let them be handed over to somebody
to take care of them.
And take care of them.
All right, away from that, Malta plant, Kiari counters Dangote amid calls for probe. Mohbad's family conducts fresh autopsy. Our abductors got 5 million naira ransom, says freed coppers. And
oh, that's good news that they're freed.
Yeah, they've been released, but then it's still, yes, they have been released. We are happy, but when the abductors gets money, it's still like us empowering these criminal gangs because
what,
they get more money to make purchase of guns and the weapons they need to carry out another. So it's like a circle.
Yeah.
It's like a circle.
But what choice does the family have?
No, we are happy that the members are out.
Alive.
All they did wrong was to go serve their fatherland. Now they are out. We are thankful that they are out. But this
is not the first
criminal element.
It's turning to a pattern now.
Exactly. That's why it will be a pattern, because when they continue to get a ransom, it's like you empowering them.
Yeah.
A governor, a speaker of a state house of assembly was saying he's empowering some people by marrying them off. But we continue to empower these abductors by giving them money, by giving them ransom. They go out and purchase the weapons they need, the guns they need to carry out another operation. And we want to get our people out, we pay again. So it's like it continues. It's a pattern
previous
that
government
never
have
stops.
said, and we have heard in different times, that payment of ransom should be made illegal. But people frowned at it, and I frown at it as well. It's taking somebody's negligence, dropping of the ball for the security of a particular place to be breached. That means people in that place have not done their job. That's why people are now left to the mercy of these criminals. Yeah. And in as much as criminals will take people's loved ones, they will do whatever is possible to have them back. So it's more like saying, I didn't do my work. And then something happens, God forbid, and then it has consequences. And I'm telling you, that consequence, I will fight you if you dare come to save your people. It looks illogical. That means the police, the Nigerian army, everybody, they are trying, but something is not working somewhere. And we've seen situations in which phones are being used to control these people, by the way, to do these negotiations. And do NRN, do BVN, do these, all the kind of N identities in the world, and then we are still here. Some of them even take transfers. Some of them take cash. They will tell you to bring bike, bring food stuff.
Yeah.
They don't come from heaven and return to heaven. They are with us here. And so we should cut them off, if only we don't want to keep paying ransom.
I think the proper word is they don't come from hell and return to hell.
Yeah, I think that's more better. Criminals don't come from heaven. Thank you for
them.
that. Yeah.
National Assembly, 70,000 wage labor to meet governors. And Senate approves IGP's tenure extension. FG votes 2 trillion naira for Lagos, Calabar, others. And drama as reps order WAEC officials' detention. That will be all from the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, from the Punch newspaper, we move to the Vanguard. The Vanguard is next. Nasima, others kick as CBN hikes interest rate. This is a lot, really. It was 26.75%. And, one thing, you don't have to be a Paul Alaje or a Bismarck Rewani to know that somebody must pay. It's as simple. If somebody has gotten a loan at a particular rate, very exorbitant, and that person invests it and then goes into production, hires people, and then comes up with a product, you don't expect somebody, the person to sell it at a moderate, quote-unquote moderate rate, because he wants you to buy, because that business will close down. Like a month or 2 weeks ago, Dangote said it, no business will flourish, before the drama with all this refinery thing happened. 26.75 interest rate. That's not the loan, no. The interest on the loan, depending on the moratorium that you have been given. And speaking about moratorium, I think I remember that, was it earlier in the year, or towards the end of last year evening, there was a news report, fact, by the way, that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, opened up the business space and said anybody that is ready to invest in a particular thing in their country, such a big business, I can't remember the exact kind of business, or in a particular place, that they are ready to give such a business, guess what? 25 years of running your business without a tax. Moratorium, 25 years. What does that mean, Evelyn? It means do whatever you have to do. Establish, then maybe there might be conditions to say, they didn't put it, but there will be conditions. Maybe 70% Because if I'm giving you 25 years running of your business tax-free, then I can be able to make some demand and say 70% of your workforce should be from Saudi Arabia. And that would be fair. That means my people will be earning. They, working in that company, will be paying the tax. And the government will be having something. 25 years. Come to our land, that's how to run a business. Not somebody that has invested almost $20 billion into a refinery, and what people in government are doing right now is to be playing back and forth. You have an interest then in the business? No, I don't have interest. Some of you go to Malta to refine. No, I'm not part of them. You know, as they say, it is a law. 26.75%. That's almost 27%. And capital importation.
There was a time that Nigeria was trying to, or the government talked about the expatriate employment levy in Nigeria, and it said that it was to drive employment of locals. Yeah. Because if the expatriates, if the employment of expatriates attracts a levy, then these companies will have no other option than to look into the local market and pick up their workers from there. But we heard about that. We do not even know where that is at this time and what impact that is making or is going to make on the country.
You know, sometimes in Nigeria, not to be pessimistic, it's more like you're in a football field. You score a goal, an official goal, and then you go back to your own post, and then you go do an own goal. So it looks like we are not even making a progress at all. These are the issues. We are probate and reprobate at the same time, and the Oyedele-led tax reform committee has come out with tax incentive, tax this and that, amalgamation of taxes, no to multiple taxation, and then you don't even know where are we, you know, in all of these. Interesting one, by the way. And riders to that, capital importation rises to 34% to $5.9 billion in the first half of 2024. Capital importation, that's a lot, not exportation. External reserves hit $37 billion as diaspora remittance rise 62%. Okay, that's a good one. NPR hike increases uncertainty for businesses. That is called me from Nasima. And Davido becomes CIG brand ambassador. And you could see his uncle there, the governor of the state, Shuaju Adeleke, and the CIG Motors chief, Diana Chen, and the video himself, David Adeleke, signing that partnership between himself and the CIG Motors. Okay, I think congratulations and other.
Congratulations to Okochioma, like they call him.
All right, interesting. But many persons will say, what was with the governor being at that event? You know, you could understand if actually his father, Davido's father, Dr. Adeleke is the one here, was with, okay, but don't let me be a party.
You know the Adeleke family well.
I know them.
Know that.
But it could have been better if actually, maybe this particular picture didn't cover where his father. Yeah. Don't you think his own father would have been the other person at that other side? But then it's Adeleke's family.
He's actually very close to his uncle.
Yeah, more than his father. But that's not the subject of discussion here. So we don't appear like haters. All right, and we are not, by the way. Gabon invite Dangote. It was where that silence, very loud one, came in. President, CE of Dangote, that's Chief Executive of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, in Gabon, on the invitation of the President, Brice Oligui Nguema, right to explore investment opportunities. You know, as they say, that a prophet sometimes in his own land is not appreciated. Really, because many persons will say, can you bring something like this to our land, and then we'll give you all the support that it is needed. All right, Tinubu to youth, listen up. Evelyn, like yourself and young people listening right now, protest, needless. I am addressing your grievances. Right, you have been spoken to. And the writer says, as Ononuga, obese face-off takes new twist. Really, 5 billion is at stake. You know, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party has just slammed a 5 billion naira, suit against one of the aides of Mr. President, That's Bayo Ononuga. And Bayo Ononuga said, I'm not afraid, bring it on. Interesting days ahead. Okay, NAS passes 70,000 naira minimum wage bill into law. Evelyn, shouldn't this deserve some applause to say it was done? Action was expedited on this particular matter. It was brought on Tuesday. It was finalized on Tuesday.
Why should I clap?
No, I'm saying you don't have to literally clap, but I'm just saying because people said you guys did the national anthem in few days or few hours and many things as well. And this was brought on Tuesday at the plenary. It was done. Okay, maybe this is part of what they should be doing, just to speak.
They are doing their job.
Yeah.
And by the way, Femi,
when they do it, shouldn't we recognize
you and I know why this bill has been expedited.
When did you become clairvoyant?
You and I know.
Okay.
But they are doing their job, so I do not.
And
need to
that is how
them.
it should be.
Yes.
Bills of national importance should be focused on, and not having conversations of condescending conversation of either somebody is at the nightclub or not in the nightclub. By the way, we saw yesterday an so to speak, an apology of Senate President Godswill Akpabio apologizing to Natasha Akpoti to say, I didn't mean that. And you know the man.
Is that an apology?
Did you
or
see
an
the video?
Explained apology?
To me, well, we finally used the word apology, by the way. But it
Still
was
trying to justify his
He
apology.
did,
Is that
because
an
he
apology?
said, if I said like a market woman, you say Akpabio say you are behaving like a market woman. If I say you are this, it will be an insult to you. And you could see the giggling and the laughter, more like, Natasha in her own grace, just let it just, it's not just about the apology. It's about his tone. It's about his body language to people that is looking like he doesn't like in that house.
Femi, we have less than 20 lawmakers who are women right now in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And
Nationally.
And the less than 20 women, you're still making the seat hot for them. I mean, Nigeria should actually be, if we say we are the giant of Africa, we should be leading when it comes to gender representation.
Everything positive.
Equal gender representation in the National Assembly. So how
many states of our assembly doesn't have, Osun State doesn't have
we
any.
don't have any female. So why would the ones who were so strong enough to get to the National Assembly
and they got there and they are vocal.
Odds, they have been vocal, yet you're making the seat so hot for them. Look at Ireti Kingibe in the last few months, what she has been made to go through.
The same Ireti, a female.
Sorry.
Yes. The same woman has been told to forget 2027 by Akpabio's friend. He was so vocal, that's Minister Wike. He said that at a function in which Akpabio was seated, casted aspersions on her, and the Senate president was there. He even made it worse when it was his turn to talk. He told and he advised his friend Wike to ignore naysayers, to ignore distractions. And that was the same place that a minister was threatening a sitting senator to say, I'm in charge now. We will show you that 2027 you will not have, you will not be returning. And this is part of what we are saying. So it's not just about the apology, but many persons will say, Evelyn, to say, he did what was wrong and he has apologized publicly as well. But politicians will always be politicians. Moving on. Talking about the protest. Tinubu to youth protest leaders, I'm addressing your grievances. What are the grievances? Do you know the grievances? Have you had meetings with the youth, the real youth, not APC youth, not political youth alone? Do you know what they are asking for? Or the president is asking, acting on whatever he's being told. These are some of the issues. And Lagos billionaire kidnappers. Last minute conversation before they struck at Ladipo. Dangote NNPCL feud worrisome. Obi additional Otedola. And here, Mr. and Mrs. Happy 40th anniversary to the Vanguard family, as the editor would say, who is romancing page 5. Interesting. And there, there rather, let me say it in the Nigerian parlance, there is there a Ashwebi for the occasion. Oh, okay, nice one. It's not Gbasgbos today from the Mr. and
It's all
Mrs.
love.
And it's all of really,
Yeah.
and they are celebrating whatever Vanguard, not just whatever, the 40th anniversary.
Congratulations to the Vanguard family.
Yeah, and it is, oh Lord, the Vanguard towards a better life for the people. And as the fourth estate of the realm, that is what we do: reporting, giving information, adequate, authentic information when we should at all times. And the media has a constitutionally guaranteed right, to say you have a duty to hold government accountable. And part of it is what we are doing here exactly at this time. And when you do it, especially when you're talking about the hazard on the job, you're seeing journalists from media outlets. In fact, like 2 months ago, two journalists were kidnapped from their different homes, and they are made to pay a ransom. And the course of duty, many journalists, media personnel have lost their lives needlessly to trigger happy policemen and even gunmen as well. So what we do is it's one that should be applauded. And you know what they say? We, at this part of the divide, we don't get to sing our praise enough. And we don't get to talk about our own challenge enough. Just like we give voice, we trump what is happening to others, but we don't get to talk our own selves enough. Maybe this morning is a time where we give flowers to ourselves and say, you know what, we're doing well, we're doing good. Because if not, imagine a dead media in a nation like Nigeria, what would we be having? Evelyn.
And that's why I would continue to speak against any government that wants to gag the media or suppress the media in whatever form. Because it's not just only, people think it is only when the MBC brings a fine against the media house, that's when they think the government is against the media. It could be in any form. It could be in any form whatsoever. Yeah. So, and we will not actually, we will continue to speak against that in whatever form any government or anybody wants to gag the media, wants to suppress the voice of the media. Yeah. And as we know, and as we always say, that injury to one is injury to all. Yeah. Any media house that has been targeted by the government, we would continue to speak against
government across the state. There are some media homes, media outlets that have been blacklisted by some persons in government because those ones, they will not patronize. They will not ask some kinds of questions that will make you feel comfortable. It's still within their right, but maybe government handlers doesn't find it easy, to attend some of those interviews from those places. And it's just towards the betterment of the great nation called Nigeria, although there are lines as well, in this business.
A free media is a free nation.
Right.
We re-echo what the people say. We echo what is in your mind, and we get the questions to those in government and get answers from them. That is what we'll do so that we can have a better society we can call our own. Nigeria is ours. This is the only place we can call home. You can have a second citizenship, a third citizenship, but the very first you have, and the most original, will be that of Nigeria. All right?
Interesting. But quick one from the front page of the Punch. You said something about Mohbad's family conducting fresh autopsy. And one will say, how possible is that? Because the coroner submission was that nothing much was achieved because of the state of the body. Yeah, and the time. Things have really gotten bad, and they couldn't make much of what was remaining, and so nothing was conclusive. Now the family is seeking second opinion. But one will say maybe advancement in technology could have given the family hope to say there are people that even after a year, if need be, the body is exhumed and investigation is done to ascertain a particular cause of death. But now the family is seeking a second opinion after the coroner of the government has said nothing much can be gotten from this. Well, so what does that speak to?
They have a right to, if they really want to get closure on the matter, if they are not convinced enough the result brought by the coroner inquest. I think they have a right to want to know, get justice for their son Mohbad. It's almost a year it passed, and we are still we are still on this matter, and I feel it's a sad one because Mohbad's issue was one everyone connected to, not just in Nigeria, all over the world. A lot of people were interested in this case, and as the months rolled by, people just started getting detached from the case, and everyone was just like, just let's bury him and allow the guy to rest in peace. But if the family feels and thinks that they want to do another autopsy, I think they have a right to do that.
Very well. Yeah, of course, I'm not disputing the right. I'm only saying after the coroner inquest has said there is virtually nothing that we could do with these remain, the family is seeking opinion. That means you must have gotten some assurance in some quarter to say, let's give it a try again. And you know, that wouldn't come cheap, you know, especially at this stage. And it's good as well. And if not because of the situation of the country, I think it's normal and it should be mandated that everybody that drops dead kind of way, if you know what I'm saying, that dies, by the way, don't let me say drop dead, there should be, you know, an inquest to know what has happened to this person. But, you know, it doesn't come cheap. The trauma that comes with it, especially if it's a young person, you feel, why are you doing this? Will this thing bring it back? You know, the societal and the cultural part to say, he's a young person. And you know, when a young person died, it's a mourning period, and everybody wants to let's just get over with this particular phase. If he's an adult, an elderly person of 90 or 100, people will say, what exactly are you looking for? One thing must kill a man.
He's gone to his resting
place.
That
I beg you know, these are some of the issues that we see, but that's not the case in some countries of the world. They will want to know, especially if it happened in controversial circumstances like it happened with Mohbad, because of the case. You know, it was more of a celebrated quote-unquote case because of the news story surrounding the case of bullying, because of harassment, even within his own family, because and we don't want to venture into what happened, the role played by the father after the role played by the mom, the victimization of the wife, and the doubt on the paternity of the baby is a lot. And and you know, in Nigeria, you wouldn't want, nobody stays on a case forever. Time has overtaken many things. Many persons will say, let them go back to their tent, you know, the Israel of that particular place. But then we'll take a break right now. When we return, we'll be speaking to Asia. It's still Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. We'll be back